Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be looking at the main air forces of the Pacific Theater. So, the U.S. was now involved in World War II, and they had been fighting on two fronts: the European front, well, actually three fronts. The European front, sorry, the European front, the Pacific front, and even in North Africa, and they had many allies throughout the war. So we'll be looking at some of the allies that we had during the Pacific Theater. So let's take a look at them now. So first off, we have the Dutch. So we have a Martin B-10. This was a late 1930s bombers. Slash, it was also used for, I think it was like reconnaissance. And the Dutch were down in Singapore, in that area. So, and we also have a Curtiss P-36 Hawk. This was kind of an early model of the P-40 you see here, because the P-40 was basically just an Allison engine P-36. So next off, we have the Indian Air Force. So first off, we have the Hawker Hurricane, and this was a really good airplane that they had. Then we have the Vultee Vengeance, which was exported to many countries, and it was used as a dive bomber. You can see it has a defense mechanism back there. And in India was right here, just so you guys can see, it was kind of near Southeast Asia. And then so next up we have the New Zealanders. So and this is the SDB Dauntless. This was a very successful dive bomber that built by Douglas, same very famous aircraft company. Next up we have the F4U Corsair that was also sold to the New Zealanders. That was built by Vought. The next up we have the P-40, which was once again a really good airplane, and it was built all throughout the war. So next up we have the Australian. So this is a Douglas A-20 Havoc, but the export version was called the Boston, and this was kind of an attack airplane. It could be fitted with a torpedo even. And then next up we have an Australian built airplane. This is the Commonwealth Boomerang, and this was kind of a very rare Australian airplane, and it was pretty good actually. It did relatively okay against the Japanese, and it wasn't, and it was a very small airplane, and it was relatively fast. And this is one of the very few airplanes built by Australia. So next up we have the U.S. So this is a P-40C fighter, and this is once again the Allison engine P-36. This was a really this is the same airplane that I just mentioned a few airplanes ago, sold to the New Zealanders. And then we have the P-38 Lightning. Which was a very successful fighter. And then we have the Bell P-400 Aerocobra, which was basically just kind of an upgraded P-39. It had a big cannon in the front of the nose, and this didn't do too well against the Japanese, but the P-39 did. It was a good fighter. Just they had engine problems operating from especially Guadalcanal. The heat wasn't good for the engine. And then last on the list we have the B-25 Mitchell, the J model. This was the attack model, with that big cannon in the front of the nose that was used to sink shipping and everything like that. And just to give you guys a visual, Australia is down here, kind of south of Southeast Asia, and then New Zealand is just east of Australia. And then there's New Guinea, the Philippines up there, Indonesia, Malaysia, Southeast Asia. So that isn't all of the airplanes, but that was there, it was a good number of them. So it wasn't all of them. I'll mention more in some of my upcoming videos. So those were the air forces that fought alongside with the U.S. And we also had some help with the Royal Navy and their aircraft carriers. With they brought Sea Fires and Sea Hurricanes, which were basically just the versions of the two aircraft that could operate off of carriers. And so there you have it. I'll probably mention some more about these air forces and their airplanes in upcoming videos. So once again, thank you for watching. Be sure to tell all your friends. Click that notification button to get notified the second I post a new video. Be sure to subscribe. Tell all your friends, fellow history buffs, aviation enthusiasts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.